Are you ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Welcome to the Roundtable, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. You're listening to some Broadway World over here on the Broadway Podcast Network, iHeart, Spotify. You see, even in the car, we talk to stars in the car. When the highway's backed up, we don't postpone. I saw our next guest. You saw the movie, you saw the Broadway show, you saw the tour. We saw America Utopia on every television show, lit up the world. And what I learned about Chris is that Chris like started writing this next project that we're going to talk about while ending the tour. Like what was next? Chris was going to take the ball in his own court and he was going to make a whole incredible album that's coming out that you need to. Boys don't fight. Not this boy. Look, this little queen over here. I'm too pretty to fight. Chris, I'm too pretty to fight. Chris is here, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Robert. Thank you so much for having me.
Chris, I have questions. Where did you grow up?
Paramus,
No,
New Jersey. Yes.
Don't
Where'd you
play
grow
with me,
up?
Chris. I grew up in Richfield Park, New Jersey.
Oh my God, Jersey girls. Hi.
Chris, are you kidding me? Did you make this up?
No. I'm
By
Jersey.
the Garden State Plaza or by Paramus Park Mall or by the Bergen Mall or...
Well, the Plaza was my first job selling shoes when I was 16 at a very kind of weird French shoe store boutique called Giarmo. It was crazy. Yeah, I didn't sell many shoes, but I did like go eat a lot of pizza at Sbarro when I was on break. It was pretty chill.
Which the Sbarro is on the other. Now that mall is very big and very fancy.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah.
But the Sbarro used to be over where the Czar. Listen, if you're not from New Jersey, this means nothing to you. But this is my favorite.
Yeah.
So, did you always love music? Like, is Paramus, New Jersey high school band, like, was this your life?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so, yeah, Paramus, that was kind of where I maybe met my, one of the first kind of important musical influences of my life, which was my choir teacher, Mrs. Stevie Rivers Rawlings. And she was just like one of those incredible teachers that has like a ton of worldly performance experience and like, but for some reason, and like should be a superstar and has done amazing things, but for some reason was just in this town. Paramus isn't a tiny town, but it's, it's not New York City. I wasn't at LaGuardia. I was at Paramus Public High School. And the kind of like guidance and advice that she gave me, let alone the actual singing advice, but just the kind of intro to the world and the industry of music, I think was invaluable. And she said one of my favorite things, which a lot of people get this advice, but she gave it to me at a very young age, where she was like, if you can do anything else other than perform, do it. Because this ain't fun, it ain't easy, and you're probably going to be broke. She's like, but if you can't live with yourself without doing this, then you can do it. And I remember really taking that with me, and I remind myself of that many times over this career, where I'm like, should I just no, I always come back to performing. Yeah.
What back then was what is your primary instrument, if I may ask?
So I started playing piano when I was 8, and had another great teacher in New Jersey, Carol Rasher, over in River Edge. And so great. So I started with piano, but I was always singing. I kind of come from, we're not like a musical family per se in terms of professional music playing or instruments, but always singing. My mom was always making up songs about various landmarks in New Jersey when we would drive to my grandma's house in Clifton. And my other grandma, who I grew up with in the same house with in Paramus, was kind of like a little like show mama. I was the youngest of like 3 or 4 kids growing up in that house. I grew up with my cousins, and they were all about a decade or so older than me. And so I was this kind of little redheaded baby that my grandma just was like, I'm gonna make you into a little star. And so she would like push me out into the living room and make me sing and dance and all kinds of stuff like that. So she was really the kind of at home thing that pushed me to perform. But yeah, singing, piano. I was president of my high school's choir. Yeah, just the voice. And I think the voice was always something that I knew I loved, but I didn't kind of really get why it was so important until years later when I have performed so much and now I'm a voice teacher and I'm developing this kind of voice methodology, which it makes sense to me why the voice is so kind of, it connects to people so deeply. I mean, we all have one. It's all inside all of us. But yeah, Mrs. Rawlings from Paramus High School. She was the one that really taught me about singing and how to do it.
First, I love that your grandmother was. I love this whole story.
Oh.
Firstly, shout out to the River Edge Diner. I mean, now I feel like we should get free cheesecake.
Yes.
Secondly,
Yeah.
I love Clifton. Hello, Route 3 and the Jersey people.
Mhm.
You know, I'm so ingrained in Jersey culture because I feel like it is a, I don't know, you love it, you hate it. It's a rite of passage as a certain person. Like, I feel like I know you, Chris, because I know the archetype of a Jersey, especially a Jersey gay, a Jersey entertainment, a Jersey, like there's a certain community. And even when I'm now in Detroit with my husband, you bring the Jersey with you all over the world. And speaking of all over the world, you really have performed like literally all over the world.
Yeah.
Is American Utopia where things changed for you? What do you think is the moment where you were like, oh my God, I'm really I'm a musician that's working and making money, and I'm here. I'm on TV. I'm on Broadway. I'm working.
Yeah, I mean, that really was, I mean, the biggest gig of my life, totally changed my life. And I think what I love the most, one of the things I love the most about it was that it came from just decades of working in downtown dance and theater. I met David years ago working with him as an assistant choreographer on his 2009 tour, working with the choreographer Annie B. Parson, who choreographed American Utopia. And so when I started working on that show, I was kind of like, oh, this is what I've done for 20 years. Dancing, being specific, singing, not wearing shoes. And so what's funny is that the kind of physical act of what we did was not so shocking for me. It didn't really shock my system, but the fact that we were doing it on stages like the O2 Arena in London or Red Rocks or Coachella or the Forest Hills Tennis Stadium, which was great, or the Fox Theater in Detroit. Like, it was this kind of weird, like hyper comfortable thing I was doing because it was something that is so ingrained in my body, but also so, I mean, I never thought I would perform on those kinds of stages. And then, I mean, it was this huge, like, ever since, you know, my grandma always told me I'd be a star from being a little kid. So there's a version of me that was like, oh yeah, I'll perform in those places someday. But honestly, as I became a performing professional, I just kind of let that, you know, idea slip away. It wasn't something that I particularly was interested in as an artist. That wasn't the kind of art that I was interested in making necessarily. But then it just kind of happened in this way that, I don't know, it fulfilled like a dream that I had kind of let go of. And it also reframed that dream for me, where I was like, wow, I can make these performances and be myself. Because I was fully myself in all of those shows, and reach this huge range of people. And then to do Broadway and have that same experience where, you know, I come from the downtown theater world, which is, I think, you know, it was so important for me to kind of come up through experimental theater and downtown theater. It's still my favorite art that I can see. And, you know, Broadway is a very commercial, different kind of element. And I never imagined that those two worlds would kind of come together. But then there I was, like, doing the same work that I had seen and studied about, that has existed in New York for decades, on Broadway, and it was really exciting. And I would say in interviews, like on red carpets and stuff, which no one understood this or published it, but when they would ever ask me, like, how do you feel about bringing this kind of new, like, you're dancing barefoot, like, what is this? And I would say things like, well, I feel that this is correct. This is not a new thing. It's just new to you. It's new to this level of commercial theater, but it has a deep history and tradition. And so, having done performing on all those stages in those spaces, I was like, wow, I guess the thing that I've been doing forever, which is just me. It's always been just me. I was like, oh, it does have a place here. I can find audiences at this level. And yeah, I that's what's kind of been fueling me lately, just remembering, like, oh yeah, there are people that want to see me be my little specific queer self.
Yes, so that's what I love. That's why I love so much. We need it. So that's what we need. So you've been introduced to the world now. While we're talking, everybody, there's a website, and that's Chris's website, and then theboysdon'tfight.com is up as well. So this is what I've read. Now you don't know. You know your people. You're very fancy people. I love your people. Shout out to Matt and all your fancy people. You don't know what they write and send you is the truth always. So is this a true story? You were on tour and you got the inspiration for Boys Don't Fight on the road. Like, you started writing this while on the road. And what is Boys Don't Fight? Is it you? Is it a band?
Yeah.
Or are you Rick Garth Brooks? Like, what is this?
Oh my God. You're breaking up a little bit, but I think I can hear from the shoulder. I think I can hear you. Boys Don't Fight. Boys Don't Fight is me. It's just me. It's the name of my solo project, my solo music project. I came up with this name like a decade or two ago. I'm kind of this person that has these ideas that fully foment and gel like years before I make them. Kimberly Clark, my drag persona, is another version. I came up with the drag name Kimberly Clark long before I ever started doing drag. But Boys Don't Fight is a name that comes from an Italo disco song by this artist named Christina. And in the song, the phrase is really, the song's called Disco Clone, and she's just like a disco clone. She's like a robot on the dance floor dancing. And there's a lot of her. And she says, boys, don't fight. Like, don't fight over me. So that's where the name comes from. But I just started using that name to just describe the music that I was making. And I started writing a lot of these songs or songs for myself. I mean, when I was like 15. So for, over 25 years now. But the album really came together, when I was on the road with American Utopia in 2018, the world tour. And that tour was 22 or 26 countries, 144 shows in 10 months. So really on the go. And like odd pockets of very specific kind of downtime. I'd done a lot of dance and theater touring in the past. Very different than music touring. Music is daily. You're in a different city. You're living on a tour bus. You're exploring all these places that you never thought you would be for several hours, and then you're on to a new place. And I had some songs, and then I really just started kind of writing some new songs from places that I was in specifically on the road, but that I also had been kind of thinking about and toying with for a long time too. And then when the tour ended, I really just started producing and recording them. But that tour was in 2018. That was 7 years ago. And so it's taken me years to really finish this album. And because that's just how long it took. Like, the songs are what they are because I had some I was afforded the time that I had to make them exactly what I wanted to be. I wrote and recorded and produced all of this entire album myself from this spot. This is Kimberly Clark's beauty room, my drag alter ego's beauty room and recording studio. Wigs are really great sonic acoustic dampeners, by the way, for reference. But yeah, I think it's from, and what's interesting is like it's from a place that I was in 8 years ago. So when I sing the songs now, it's not, I don't feel like I'm in the middle of it, which I think is why I can perform them, because I have distance from that place and I can have like an artistic aesthetic distance, which I think is something that generally is useful for art making. And especially living in New Orleans, like I feel out of a lot of loops and I love it. Like I love that I'm not constantly seeing things and hanging out with people and schmoozing with people. And for a long time, my career, I was living in New York for 15 years, and that was how I was working and meeting people. And it's just a different method to not have that, to have your own space and space from your art and time away from that. It's amazing. It's I've never thought that that would be useful for me, but here we are.
Well, I know if I'm having technical difficulties and you're not hearing me, I'm sorry. We're working on the best in the car, Chris. Um, who, what do you? Who should listen to this? What is the genre of music you're single that's out? Gorgeous. Like what's the journey that this album is going to take us on? And when can we hear it? Where can we hear it? All the good stuff.
So the album drops on October 17th. I've got a couple of singles coming out between now and then that you'll hear more of. All streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Tidal. But Bandcamp is the place where you can go to listen to my music and also hear the best quality of the music. Bandcamp, if you're unfamiliar, you can upload higher quality samples and streaming than other music services, and you could buy my record and actually support me if you're interested in that. I've been calling the genre of music queer electropop, but I don't think that's right. I don't know what the reason I call it electropop is, because it is pop music and there's a lot of synthetic music production. There's like, I made everything with an Ableton, basically a lot of MIDI, a couple of acoustic things, but mostly me fiddling on keyboards. And pop, because it's total pop music. For a while, I was also calling it like electro folk. And the only reason I was adding folk was because I got a lot of words. And I think sometimes I want people to not be jarred by the amount of lyrics and ideas that are in the songs. But that's just how I write. I've got a lot to say and I love packing them into fun little boppy songs. And so I think it's for anyone that is interested in like a really specific experience of someone that is on a kind of journey through love in a romantic way, but also in like a kind of cultural way of how one fits into the world at large. There's a little bit of a loose narrative of the album where it feels like it's this interpersonal kind of dealing with relationship and personal relationships, and that kind of expands into kind of larger worldly things. It's fully queer in the sense that I'm a gay man and I write about men romantically, mostly in my music. And I always say that it's totally for other queer people. If you're a queer person, you will maybe relate to this more than other people. But anyone can relate to it and make it theirs. You can do what I did as a queer person growing up listening to music that wasn't about me, was I would imagine that it was. and it was fine. Like Janet Jackson's album Janet was about me. That was my jam. That was about me. But you know, that wasn't for me, but I used my imagination and I was like, this is for me. And so this is an album where queer people might have to do less of that, but everybody else can. It's fine. It's not a big deal. You can use your imagination, and it could be exactly about you.
Well, I want to say thank you for making an album for us that I can listen to with my husband, that I can listen to with my friends, and if it's gay, we're in. That's for me. Um, while we talk to everybody, go to the website, go to the link, stream the music. Do you have plans to do live shows? Is that something that you want to do?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been developing this as a live show also, like as I've been finishing the album with Elizabeth Dement, who's the associate choreographer from American Utopia. I've worked with her for years and years, and she is helping me kind of create a physical score for this. Whenever I've performed it live as little sets, people think it's like a musical. Like they're like, oh, this is like a musical that I want to see. And I'm like, I'm just making eye contact and dancing. Like this is my version of what I think pop music is. But so yeah, it's a very theatrical kind of solo performance, I would say. And I'm working on booking stuff, but I'm kind of seeing how this flies from the music route. I've worked in theater for so long and I know how to produce theater shows, but there's a part of me that wants to just see how this lands in the music world and then see if I can book tours and have more music venues be interested in it, which is something I'm not super familiar with. So that's, if you have a music venue and you want to book me, hey.
Look, we're gonna figure this out because I'm a fan. I'm excited. I love what you do. I love what you represent. I love your artistry. I hope you do your solo show with no shoes on. I hope that I meet you on Route 4 at the Heritage Diner in New Jersey one day and have a cheeseburger deluxe with you or whatever. I'll veggie burger.
Yes.
And
yes.
I hope that everybody listening streams this music, Boys Don't Fight, the album this October. Tell your friends. It doesn't matter, straight, gay, queer, anything that you are, any gender, any religion, where you live around the world. He's writing music about love, and it's going to make you dance. It's going to make you smile. And that means that we all have to just support it. We support you, and we hope you come back on when you have dates and you have more music. Please come on, and I'll be in home with good Wi-Fi and good sound, and it will be professional. It'll be professional that time, I promise, Chris.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you for pulling over too. I appreciate you stopping driving. Good tip.
I'm a fan. Thank you. It's an honor for you to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.